There are 19 voting members present.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone. You can lower your voting cards. And we'll move on to the second point of the agenda, which is the credential form. And we have a motion here. I will proceed to read the motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly accepts the late submission of the credential form from EPSA Cyprus. With this motion, the Article 5.4 of the standing orders shall be overruled. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. There are no comments. I close the floor for discussion on the motion, and I ask for who's against this motion. If there are any abstentions, and who votes for? Thank you. I have 19 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. So the motion was approved, and we will move on to the next point of the agenda. Actually, it's the same point of the agenda. It's credential form late document voting right matters, but we'll move on to the next section of this, which is the late documents for the GA package. Here that I'll proceed to read. The 55th EPSA General Assembly accepts the late submission of the refund reports of the Portugal UCL Forum, the EPSA IBSF Memorandum of Understanding, the final financial report of the Summer University 2022, the intermediate financial reports from August 2022 till March 2023, the intermediate financial balance from August 2022 till March 2023, and the plan of action of the 19th chairperson. And with this motion, Article 4.1.3 from the reference shall be overruled. Before opening the floor for discussion on this motion, I apologize for this calculating these documents. So we needed the extra time in the GA package, and I hope they were still able to will have the effect of the agenda. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. If there are no points, I close the floor for discussion, and I ask who is against. If there are any abstentions, and who votes for? Thank you. I have 19 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. So I would ask the scrutineer to bring the associations their voting cards. Now they have no. It's another motion. Wait, after sorry. We'll move on to voting rights and membership matters, and I'll the motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly accepts the link to the annual Congress LS reports from Belgium, EPSA Cyprus, Hungary, and South Denmark. With this motion, the Article 3.10.2 of the Terms of Reference shall be overruled. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. Sorry, we'll amend this motion because we're missing one member. Sorry, I have updated the motion. There was a few more Indian Congress LS reports that we received in time. So I will read it again. The 65th EPSA General Assembly accepts the submission of annual Congress LS reports from the EPSA Belgium, Ireland, South Belgium, and Cyprus, South Bosnia and Herzegovina, EPSA Cyprus, EPSA Hungary, and South Denmark. With this motion, the Article 3.10.2 of the reference shall be overruled.
The EPA, just for For closure, we also received no report from Victor Filmer, Maps Sweden, and others.
Thank you, Marlene. Are there any comments? If not, I close the floor for discussion on the motion and on the voting procedure. Is anyone against? Are there any abstentions? Then who votes for? I have 19 votes for, none against, and no abstentions, so the motion was carried unanimously. And now, yes, the members that have now regained their voting rights, raise your hand. EPSA Belgium. Okay. EPSA Belgium delegated to KPSV. Susa Cyprus. You. There's also some of them, but they're not here. And with this, we can show the list of the ordinary members with voting rights that have this General Assembly. We'll move on to the next one of the agenda, which is the appointment. And we'll start with the appointment of the chairperson. I'll read the motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly of the EPSA President is the chairperson of the 65th EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. If there are no comments, I will close the floor for discussion on the motion, and I ask who is against. If there are any abstentions, who votes for? I have 21 votes for, none against, no abstentions, so the motion is carried unanimously. We'll move on to the next motion, which is the 65th General Assembly, and appoints the EPSA Secretary General Elisa Valentin as Secretary of the 65th EPSA General Assembly. I open the floor for discussion on the motion. I close the floor for discussion on the motion, and I ask against. If there are any abstentions, who votes for? I have 21 votes for, none against, no abstentions, so the motion was approved. Thank you. We'll move on to the next motion, which appoints Andrei Tudor Budan. The 65th General Assembly appoints Andrei Tudor Budan, Michal Boshak, and Anna Van as President of the 65th General Assembly. Are there any comments? Close the floor for discussion on the motion, and I ask who is against. If there are any abstentions, who votes for? I have 21 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. The motion carries unanimously. Now that we have facilitated, let us vote. Thank you, Gabriel. Then we'll proceed to the next motion regarding appointment of scrutineers. I read out the motion first. The 65th EPSA General Assembly appoints Martin Martins, Jagmur Aslan, Samson Busti, Diana Stanju, Charlotte Tipur, Jakub Sikora, Hanna Magdalena, Aneta Kowalska, Ambre Delver, Theo Fabad, Tim Van den Dul, Katrine Sousa, Olivia Dobrek, Katarina Silva, and Dominika Golovia as scrutineers of the 65th General Assembly. I'll have the floor for discussion regarding this motion. Joseph?
Teresa, USA, Czech Republic, there is a mistake. One of the people is from my delegation, and her name is Hanna Magdalena Klanitsova. You are missing her surname. There are only her two first names. It's KLANICOVA.
Thank you so much for this correction. Do we have any more comments regarding this motion? I don't see any. Gabriel, President, then I close the floor for discussion on the motion. Thank you, Gabriel. We'll proceed to the voting regarding the motion. I'll ask the floor who is against, who abstains, and who is for. Thank you. I have 21 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. The motion was carried. We'll proceed to the next motion, being the appointment of meeting secretary. For this, I will read out the motion. The 62nd EPSA General Assembly appoints Marta Martins, Elektra Dafermu, Iago Asta, Varaskeri Papadopoulou, Dragon Verdir, Kai Tima, Enata Diuma, Alexander Miter, as meeting secretaries of the 65th General Assembly. I open up the floor for discussion on this motion. Marina, go ahead.
Marina VPA, I should also.
Thank you, Marina, for this correction. Any more comments regarding the motion? I do not see any. Gabriel, President, then I close the floor for discussion on the motion. Thank you, Gabriel. We'll proceed to voting regarding the motion. I'll ask the room if there are any votes against. Any abstentions? Who was for? Thank you. I have 21 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. The motion is carried. We'll proceed to the next agenda point, being the acknowledgement of the observers and short introductions. Gabriel? Gabriel, President. So we're lucky enough to have a lot of observers this time, and thank you all already for being able to join us. We'll have each of our partner organizations present themselves to you. So I will call them one at a time. They will come here and have a presentation. So first we can start with the one that you know the best, as you said. Isabella, if you come here.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me. And it's nice to be here and see all of you. This full room. It's amazing to see how many of you are attending this event. I would also like to thank Gabrielle and Theo and the whole team for having me here and to share a few words about IPSM. So, first to introduce myself, my name is Isabella. I'm from Lithuania and I'm graduated pharmacy in 2021, and I'm currently the chairperson of the IPSF European Regional Office. So IPSF, as the International Pharmaceutical Student Federation, is the leading. Oh, can we move on? So we are the leading international advocacy organization for both pharmaceuticals, students of pharmaceutical graduates. We promote public health, professional development, advocacy initiatives in the pharmaceutical world, as well as sorry, a range of publications and professional initiatives. I'm doing a bit of this script, so apologies for that, but I hope you can bear with me. So just a short, brief history on IPSF. So we were established in 1949. So we are quite old, and we are considered the international student organization, and we represent about 500,000 pharmacy and pharmaceutical science students, as well as recent graduates from over 100 countries. And we are currently co-located with the International Pharmaceutical Federation in The Hague, Netherlands. And here you can see a few of our beautiful faces. This is the IPSF Executive Committee for this Monday. We did this photo at our second executive meeting, and here we are at our headquarters in the city. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to meet in person with the rest of that. That's quite clear. This is our structure. I know it looks a bit scary, but I promise it's not that hard, and it's a bit similar to EPSA structure as well. So our General Assembly is also our highest rating decision body. And here we have the executive committee. We have all of these sort of positions, and we are also structured into 5 regions. So I'm here now on the behalf of the Euro region, but we also have portfolios with different coordinators and committee members, as well as subcommittee members in the regional offices, and a few, I would say, auxiliary boards, which are the advisory board and the audit committee. All right, that's quite great. So here you have a better representation of the regional office. We are covering most of the world continents here, and they are usually directed by the regional working group as well as the IPSA executive committee. So here is the European Regional Office. We currently represent 31 countries with around 35 member organizations and covering 135,000 students in research countries. Okay. And here is the structure of our European Regional Office. As you can see, it's quite similar, but a bit less scary than the global executive committee. So here you have some names about my team, and as well as some of our subcommittees. You can also meet some of the subcommittee members and the regional working group members here in Slovenia. So if you have any questions about IPSS, please feel free to reach out to us at any point. And as well as other student-based organizations, we like to collaborate. So here are some of the organizations that we work together with. Some of the most important ones, the ones that we collaborate the most with, such as IFMSA, which is the International Federation of Medical Students Association, FIP, as well as WHO, UN, UNESCO, and all the others. And these are some of our regional organizations that we collaborate with in the European region. And you can see EPSA and WHO Europe and US. So now to explain a little bit more about what we do, our focus is mostly on different activities, as you can see here, such as civic exchange, policy and advocacy, but also what we like to call the 3Ps, which are public health, participation, and professional health. I will quickly go through them, do not bore you, but thank you for being patient so far. Our first one is the pharmacy education. So as you can see, we do quite a lot of activities on here, and we like to focus on education, webinars, as well as research. So on the right side, you can see a platform that is called the Young Researchers Forum, and we used to promote CS students working on their research projects, and we can use this forum to share their work and also to comment on each other and get some more input on this. And we also work together with FIP on releasing a series of statements on pharmacy and pharmaceutical education. So if you're interested to learn more about that, then like I said, please feel free to reach out at any point. Okay, next slide, please. Also for professional development, we organize quite a lot of competitions, and these I would say are the more interesting part because you get to interact with different aspects of the pharmaceutical profession and you get to develop your skills through them. We also do a series of training activities such as leadership trainings and the trainers development camp. They focus more on your personal skills as well as educational skills. And we are looking forward to organizing our next PVC event, which will take place in May. So if there are some of you that signed up for that, then I hope that you're looking forward to this. And for public health, we usually organize several different initiatives on public health topics such as AMR or I would say AIDS and other sexual reproductive health initiatives. their statement at WHO events, and we advocate for PE initiatives. The student exchange program is, I believe, the most not necessarily important, but it is the most exciting one because we get to travel and connect with students from all around the world. And I think you see about 1,000 students already exchange each year, and more than 80 associations are part of that. And you can go and discover different cultures from all around the world, and you also get to do your pharmaceutical practice in different countries. So that's what I believe. Sorry for being a bit nervous, but I hope that I managed to explain everything to you. All right. So for policy and advocacy, we do um, several delegations at mostly WHO events. So in case you take part in the WHO regional committees, the World Health Assembly, and the WHO World Baseball Sessions, which happens every year. And we serve as the global collective voice of students and research veterans in pharmacy, pharmaceutical sciences and defense. And here are some examples that happen on a regional level. We collaborated with IFMSA and EPSA on releasing a virtual young people and young professional forum that was supported by WHO. And so this happened in 2021. And based on this, we managed to release several statements and engage with external stakeholders. Next slide, please. And this also translated into 2022 with participating in the Students for Health Forum that was organized by WHO Europe in Tirana, Albania. And that is a photo of our secretary and the rest of the team at this event. We wanted to engage with WHO on this commitment to improve youth engagement in health and wellbeing initiatives and also bring attention to issues involving youth health and well-being. And I guess the most exciting part is our events. So if you haven't made your summer plans yet, please make sure to look at our events such as the Ibis of World Congress that is taking place in Bali, Indonesia, and also the European Regional Symposium that will take place in Switzerland in July. We also have several other regional symposia in other continents. So if you are looking forward to exploring different countries, please make sure to have a look at that. And with this, I will end my presentation. I hope I didn't bore you too much, but of course, if you want to keep updated with our work and also follow our initiatives and events, then please make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. And once again, thank you for your attention and thank you for having me here. And of course, if you have more questions, then don't hesitate to say hi. I don't mind.
Thank you so much, Isabella. And now our next guests are all part of the European Healthcare Student Association Summit, which is an interprofessional student collaboration that represents pharmacy students, of course, but also dental students, medical students, and psychology students and nursing students. And we have three representatives here. I will call first the representative from the European Nursing Students Association, Benedicta. If you could come here and present yourself, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, hi, everyone. I would say colleagues, even though you're pharmaceutical students or you graduate. I'm a nursing student, so I'm from computer physical. I'm here to represent EPSA. And I don't think it's going to be a long presentation, and I don't even have a PowerPoint, but I don't think I need to. I want to be concrete and proud, and I hope you guys will get to know EPSA a bit. So EPSA is maybe a little bit smaller than you think. I am amazed by how EPSA is organized, the community we have, and the engagement we have in this country. And this is the goal I would like to discuss. EMSA was established in 2006, so it is quite old in that sense, community building as well. And this is what I'm working towards. Now we have a board of 5 people, but we are expanding it by giving a cost from this week on. And we're planning on having calls for very many different smaller positions, so which isn't small at all. So it's linked to the positions that we know that we have that are working with the vice president in EPSA. And EPSA is working quite a lot with EPSA, and EPSA is investing because we do that. And so many more people that are helping us in that situation. We do have activity, even though I'm speaking as NSS is small, we are not very small, and our institution is great, and we are active as an organization. We are going to be part of the Summer University of 2024, and we are in on webinars and present at W events and CSN events, collaboration lectures, and more. So that's basically what is most important.
Thank you so much, Benedicta. Now we have the European Medical Students Association, and Delia is going to present it to us.
So, first of all, thank you for inviting me here. It's really great to be with you in this situation and getting to know you. I'm Dalia, student organization liaison officer of EPSA for 2022 and 2023. Today I will try to briefly tell you about EPSA, what we do, and how we collaborate with our partners, especially with EPSA. We can see that slide. So our vision is a solidary and connected Europe with medical students that actively promote health. And in that sense, we empower medical students at all policies, excellence in medical research, into professional healthcare, education, and protection of human rights across the world. Our structure is we're an FMO-based. Sorry, guys. It's not. It's like the 10th time I'm doing this presentation, and I'm nervous again. I'm sorry. Like it's very anxious. I'm really anxious to be presenting this. Okay. Continue. It was established in 1990 in Belgium, Brussels, and the idea behind it was to organize a symposium that all medical students across Europe could attend, and then it turned out to be something bigger. Now the structure is an FMO-based structure, by FMO faculty-based structure. So we have more than 130 faculties in 30 countries from now on, and hopefully they will grow to be something bigger every day. Like, in order to get the student involvement, we are doing different stuff. We have different departments, different officers, and different structures within EPSA, and external relations are one of them. So EPSA is the only organization representing students within the other medical organizations. You probably are familiar with some of these organizations in my screen, and EPSA is the medical student organization for medical students within these organizations. And we are also within European level are associated with other organizations as well, like joint action groups, expert groups, public consultations, European Commission projects, and the ones that and we also have the professional non-government organizations that we are working with. We are working with them to maintain the professional perspective in our projects. Like we have Amy for medical education, we have EPA for public health, and so on. There are also like organizations that we are working with, the department that I'm working for, and these are just a few of them that you're seeing on my screen. AMSA is Asian Medical Students Association, is one of them, EPC, XDGM, PHRC, and not last but not the least, actually not the last as well, we have European Healthcare Students Association Summit, one thing that you're familiar with, hopefully, and one thing that you hopefully will be involved in the activities as well. In European Healthcare Students Association Summit, we are 5 organizations: EMSA, EPSA, EPSA, ETSA, and ESA. Right now, we have ongoing projects like Advocacy Action Group. We want to keep working with exchange projects that we've been doing in the past, and we also have seen the project proposal of some universities of EPSA, and we are so excited to realize it together. Yes, so we are making our projects in 6 different pillars. Pillars are like standing committees of ours, if you're more familiar with those words. We have public health, medical ethics and human rights, European integration and culture, medical science, health policy, and medical education. They're self-explanatory, but to briefly tell about them in one sentence, public health is the pillar that we promote healthy living style, and the pillar that we're trying to create awareness. Medical ethics and human rights is the pillar that we are working to maintain the environment that healthy living conditions will be provided. European integration culture is the pillar that we do our exchanges, the pillar that we try to maintain the solidarity in United Europe. Medical science is the pillar that approach to the professionals and try to get our members to be involved in the medical research more and more every day. Health policy is the pillar that we do our advocacy activities, and medical education is how we are involved in our own education system. So we have events like at SADU, general assemblies are the events that, like the biggest events of EMSA. In general assemblies, it has the authoritative position, besides the position of having being the events that we try to keep themselves alive. We are trying to get our members up to date with the medical research updates. We are trying to get them more focused on the medical science area, and on and on. In Training Center of Excellence is the event that we have as a CMC. We believe in peer education, peer role modeling, so we have Training Center of Excellence training new trainers events, so that we can train our own trainers, we can build our capacity, and those trainers can be the ones to train their peers. So we have the software training system, and that was me, by the way, like on the left side. Small one. I never go. Okay. Internal projects. So these are internal projects. We have webinars, we have medical research updates, we have Plant Health magazine, we're doing surveys, and so many other things that I cannot like right now come on the top of my mind. And we also have European support divisions and small working groups. These are present for the involvement of our members in the projects that European Board is doing, so that our members can choose the topic that they're interested in. So helpful was, for example, one of them here in Canada, one of them. And we have the full support system, and that's how we actually start our advocacy activities. Policy papers are the papers that we prepare to state what we're believing in, prepare to state what we're aiming, and this is the place where we call people to action, people and institutions to action, so that we can start our advocacy activities towards that. And last but not least, we have Europe's official magazine of EMSA. Actually, like one of our aims is to host you and your writings in Europe in the future as well. We have 2 issues per year, and we are right now publishing the 23rd issue. I think that's it from have any questions, please approach and ask me your questions. I would be more than happy to socialize with you. And these are the contact information that you can reach me. Yeah. Sorry for being nervous. I can never get rid of it.
Thank you so much. No reason to be nervous. We're all colleagues here. And now, last but not least, I ask Yona from the European Federation of Psychology Students Association.
For European Federation of Psychology Associations. So yeah, considering that you're all working very similar federation, I don't think there's much like this happen. This is a bit of statistics. The population is demographics, growing and currently have total organizations, aiming to get up to 35 members. So what our mission is basically bringing together psychology students from all over Europe and offering different possibilities of expanding the knowledge that you guys can do. Now basically if we continue with the event, I will basically briefly present to you what we do because all of our events are open to externals. And I think maybe in contrast to pharmacy, I'd say that psychology is a bit more universally relevant for each and every student. So we try to do this for you. So one of the things is the Congress, kind of similar to this. It's a year-to-year event, series of 400 people focusing on different topics of psychology. Then we have the conference that happens bi-yearly. It's a bit more research-oriented, and you get the opportunity to present around papers. Then we have the summer school. This is an opportunity where we connect students from the federation, whether they don't even have to be active members, with mentors who are PhD students or postdocs as well. And we basically mentor them throughout the year in order to get through the process of finishing their research and getting into academia. Then we have the summer school. We also have our own trainer community, as previously mentioned. This is basically one of the trainers. Then we have EPSA Academy, which is a lot of the things that you will do for externals. It is primarily focused on different members of non-governmental organizations. And this is a 3-day intense training event where both EPSA and externals are learning different topics training any given member. And then the last two things are more relevant to the work of the community itself and basically the success support days, working with core members, working with executive board and member representatives. And then we have the personal kind of the team activities. So the other thing that we have besides the events that is very relevant for other services, we're working also with ROS, which is basically a team that organizes all of the information about setting enrolling and internships around the Mediterranean. They also offer information on kind of the psychology network, through hostels and through camping. Then we have research programs, which is the extension of the summer school that I mentioned earlier. It's a program throughout the year and kind of takes students through the whole process of finishing and publishing a research paper. Then we have DEP, which is the Journal of the European Psychology Students, which publishes research papers and more. Then we have Training Office, which coordinates the portfolio community, is responsible for training events, and is also heading up the plan for potential external trainings that they also organize. Then the last thing, which is actually briefly in EPSA right now, is
Thank you so much to all of you. I don't think I have to tell you this with the interprofessional collaboration present in the topic of the event that we're standing in right now. The interprofessional collaboration is one of EPSA's biggest focuses, and it's a focus that we share with all of ESAs. And throughout this event, we will try to take this collaboration even further. You've already heard mentions of the ESA Center University. We've already discussed this with you, and we will be after the executive motion signing the memorandum of understanding for the Center University. So please stay tuned for that, and let's continue to focus on this work. Since we are already a bit late, sorry for the time that we took, but thank you, Gabriel. And we'll proceed to the next point being the changes to the agenda. Bureau President. So there have been some changes in the agenda, namely after the elections, the application, the deadline for applications, we changed the elections as in the regulations, and we like the positions that did this receive applicants till the end of the GA. So now we will start the election procedures tomorrow with the treasurer position, and we adapted everything based on that. I will also take this point already to tell you that as soon as the deadline on Friday is over, we will also adapt the agenda for the Saturday GA and the Saturday election. But every time that a change is made, I will keep you informed so that you are always able to follow. Some other changes were made, namely because of the reports, and some of them still need to be made because we have some members delivering sessions, we have some members talking to partners and speakers, etc. So be aware that some changes to that may happen. But other than that, oh no, there was another thing that changed, which is the event updates and the discharge of the chairperson, so that both Glenn and Kathy can be present. One session earlier, but there's a lot to prepare for that, so that will not affect your preparation. Thank you, Gabriel. Then we can proceed to the adoption of the agenda. The motion reads: the 65th EPSA General Assembly adopts the amended proposed agenda for the 65th EPSA General Assembly. I'll open the floor for discussion. Are there any comments? Go ahead.
Hi, Yasha. So my question is, why have you decided to have elections prior to the EPSA reports? Because we do believe that hearing team reports could be beneficial to the ODs. To hear reports first, so it would be easier for us to see where the critical points for each position, and then form the appropriate question for each position for the candidates.
Thank you. Gabriel, we'll go direct. Gabriel, President. So it was not our decision to change the election procedures. It was actually something that the members requested. And almost a year ago during the summer, one of the first things that we did as an executive was try to understand what members wanted from a new election procedure. And there were rounds of feedback, and this is the new procedure that we're trying out. I think this is really good feedback, and we can take it into consideration because since it's a new thing, maybe we'll need some adaptations. So after the elections, maybe we can also follow up with an email thread to ask how the new for you and if further changes are needed. However, I want to take this opportunity to say that you all have access to the team reports earlier, and you all have the opportunity to ask questions every time, even before the team meeting, and asking further questions in the team meetings that you were also invited to. So I would just like to restate the importance of that. Thank you, Gabriel. Do we have any more comments? I do not see any.
Gabriel?
Gabriel President, then I close the floor for discussion.
Thank you, Gabriel. Then we'll proceed to voting on the motion. The 65th EPSA General Assembly adopts the amended proposed agenda for the 65th EPSA General Assembly. I ask who is against? Any abstentions? Who goes for? Thank you. I have 21 votes for, none against, and no abstentions. The motion was carried unanimously. We'll proceed to the next agenda point, being the adoption of the minutes of the 64th EPSA General Assembly. The motion reads the 65th EPSA General Assembly adopts the minutes of the 64th EPSA General Assembly. I'll open the floor for discussion on this motion. Do we have any comments? Gabriel?
Gabriel President, if there are no comments, I close the floor.
Thank you, Gabriel. We'll proceed to voting on the motion. I will ask the floor who is against. Any abstentions? Who goes for? We have 21 votes for, none against, no abstentions. The motion was carried unanimously. Thank you. We'll proceed to the next agenda point, being technical. Go ahead, TNPSV.
Anine Campus in the Netherlands. Sorry to bring it up, but can we turn on something like an AC, not just for the heat, but also for the fresh air, because our brains are working really hard and it's like there's no fresh air in this room.
Can we assess the floor if it's okay? I see general agreement. We'll take care of that. And while this is covered, please no discussions in the meantime. Thank you. We'll proceed to the next agenda point, being the applications for ordinary and associate membership. For this, we received one application for ordinary member from Ukrainian Pharmaceutical Students Association, EPSA. We have the presentation, so if we could ask EPSA to go to the front.
At first, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Kate, President, one of the founders and LC from Ukrainian Pharmaceutical Students Association. And let's start. So EPSA, or Ukrainian Pharmaceutical Students Association, is an EPSA associate member since 2022. And one of the best projects of my team, of my life, which I'm presenting to you today. And yes, as you understood already, we are applying for ordinary membership, and like we hope to be from today. So at first, I will tell you today the 3 reasons why we should continue to be a part of EPSA as an ordinary member from today. But at first, I would like to start with the history of EPSA and tell more about EPSA. So EPSA is a platform of the professional opportunities for pharmacy students established in 2020. Next slide. And for now, we have more than 100 registered members and from 7 biggest universities in Ukraine. Next slide, please. As you already get to know more, we can move for the first reasons why we should be an ordinary member. So at first, EPSA is a new and fast-growing organization, and we are very ambitious. And even during just 1 year, we opened 3 more local committees in different cities in Ukraine, and organized the teamwork there. So each team is providing the activities related to the students' requests in their team, and also we established the internal working communication system, which help us to be united as a nation. And also, we do believe that this experience can also, which we are eager to share with you, can be also useful for EPSA in future. Next slide. Even during the war, we can continue to implement our projects. This year, we are focusing more on the online projects on the different platforms, as YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, etc. And it has increased the accessibility for Ukrainian students and EPSA members to getting knowledge and opportunities. So, what does it mean for EPSA? We learn how to work flexible in difficult conditions and without making pressure on our active members who are organizing the projects, and some of them are here today. And the last slide. And also the last but not least, EPSA implemented the membership fee, which gave us a financial stability and opened a lot of new opportunities to grow. But we didn't want to make it in a classic way. So we created a digital member package, which gives the access to our members to the educational materials, descriptions of the career possible paths, trainings, courses, and also apps opportunities as well. It gives a clear understanding for us which product and which impact we're giving to our members. It's only a small part of our activities which I'm presenting to you today. And of course, if you want to get to know more about our organization, you can go to our social media pages like this QR code. And I want to finish the presentation with the next thoughts that Ukrainians as a nation who never betrays our values and position whenever happens. And fortunately for us, and I hope for you, EPSA already became one of the main events. Thank you for your attention.
Sorry for this inconvenience. Thank you, Lisa, for the presentation. We'll now proceed and open the floor for any questions regarding the application. Do we have any comments or questions? Go ahead, Anna.
Mario and France, thank you so much for your presentation. We do believe that your financial documents and statutes are really well defined. My question would be, you have a lot of students in Ukraine. Do you have any plan to reach all of them? Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. EPSA, go ahead.
Thank you, EPSA Ukraine. Okay, yes, we have a lot of universities in like each city in Ukraine, medical universities. Yes, we plan to reach them step by step because we want not only grow by numbers but also in a quality way. So yeah, we already plan to open few more local committees in other cities, but it's not something on which we want to do as soon as possible because as I said before, we want to do this in a good quality way. Yeah, so at first this year, we want to, the new executive team of EPSA will focus mainly on the stabilizing, organizing the internal work. So we will be sure that we can grow in, as planned.
Thank you, EPSA, for the answer. Do we have any more questions? Can be clarification from Anna first.
Beatriz Alpha, Portugal. Our question would be more in a logistical kind of way on what would happen to MSU if EPSA became an ordinary member.
Thank you, Marina.
Malina DPA. So currently, MSU Ukraine and Fulfilled Ukraine are both associate members. So there is no change of voting rights or anything.
Thank you, Marlene. Then we proceed to the new comment from KPSV.
Elina KMP to the Netherlands. Well, thank you for your application. It looks really good, and we're very excited that you're taking these next steps in your membership. Just had a question more about the budget because there were a lot of bold orange numbers in your forecast, and maybe you can explain a bit more because there's some differences in the forecast and the real, just for some transparency on that.
Thank you, KPSV. EPSA.
Kate, EPSA Ukraine. Yes. As it's like a budget which we established a forecast for the next year. The orange one numbers is just like a summary of the amount, like a total of the amount per chapter of the expenses. So if you will pay attention on it. Yeah, and if to talk why the difference the forecasted and the real amount will be updated during the year we will know when we will know the real expenses which we had. So for now we just like forecasted, and as before we didn't have the financial incomes and expenses like this, we couldn't manage the real amount which we will spend on 100%. So yeah, this is something the real amount which we already spent during this year, and forecast for whole year for all 2020.
Thank you. A direct from KPSV.
Elina KPSV Netherlands. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. And just to dive a little bit more deeper, because at the incomes, at the membership fee, there's like a much larger forecast than you have right now. And it also says twice per year, but can you elaborate on when and how you expect to receive that, since you did receive some of it and it doesn't look like you received half of what you expected?
Thank you, KPSV. EPSA.
Yes. When we did the forecast for the membership fee, as we implemented in the first time, we didn't know how many members will pay actually after implementing, right? Like before we had like more than 100% who will take a part of it. So we did forecast for 60 people. So to have a more realistic amount which we will have. And also we're still collecting the membership fee for this part of the year, for the first part. So we still didn't receive all money, but for now, yeah, we are moving with this. And for the second part, as we already joined few more cities, we plan that we will have the more members for the new cities, as we just like joined them not for a long time ago. So yeah, for the second part of the year, we are planning to have more members, and because of this, the forecast is bigger, not like the same amount for each. Yeah, part of year.
Thank you, EPSA. Do we have any more comments or questions? EPSA, go ahead.
Madam Principal, could you elaborate more on your cooperation with MSU?
Thank you, EPSA. EPSA.
Kate, EPSA Ukraine. As we knew before, that this is the point which would be raised and actually like which would be asked and all the stuff. We started to after our application for the associate membership, we started to cooperate and communicate with the MSU more. Unfortunately, there's like situation of the MSU is not changed because they are living near the occupied territories. So, but we kept like we had the communication with them. We have like maybe 5 or 6 meetings, and on the last meetings, we had our internal agreement that the pharmaceutical part of MSU, because MSU is not only a pharmaceutical organization, in future will join EPSA, So for now, we don't have the local committees in their city, but for future, we have some plans to do this. Why? Because we can provide for the pharmaceutical students of MSU more opportunities for them, as we have a bigger team of like, yeah, many more resources for it. Yes, and yeah,
Thank you, Yubsa. We now have a new comment from PhD. Go ahead.
Nina, PhD Germany. Thank you so much for the presentation. We also have a question about the financing for the companies. Do you have like a long contract with them, or is that just for the next year?
Thank you, Yubsa.
K-Cube, so Ukraine. Yes, for now we are on the stage of signing the contract with the biggest Ukrainian pharmaceutical company, and we are planning to receive money from them for 1 year. It will be a contract for 1 year, and yeah, and also what I wanted to say is that for now we cannot say 100% that we will receive it because of the not stable situation in the Ukraine because of the war and all the stuff, but because everything can change in 1 day. But anyway, for our forecast, like of expenses, we include the risk that we will not receive the money, and still based on membership fee and individual and incomes from project, we will have money for paying the membership fee, attending the assemblies.
Awesome. Thank you, Yubsa. Do we have any more questions to Yubsa about the application? I do not see any. So I think we can proceed to the first discussion regarding the motion. So I'll ask the helping to leave the room with the Yubsa delegation. So all the members of Yubsa will ask you to wait a few minutes while we discuss this motion.